At the World Trade Center in New York City, where America's worst terror attack killed 3,000 innocent civilians, there are giant reflecting pools right now in the exact footprint that the Twin Towers used to stand. They chose not to rebuild over those two areas because so many bodies have never been recovered, making those two spaces burial grounds, sacred burial grounds. I worked in the World Trade Center, and on 9/11/2001, I was witness to the towers falling in person. In the 18 months that followed, I watched the daily somber parade of family members of the victims heading to the site, kids with stuffed animals or mementos of their mommy or daddy who would never come back, who would continue to burn as the site burned for more than a year after those attacks, even as the FDNY poured billions of gallons of water into those two holes. The point, those are sacred grounds to Americans. They represent the worst of humanity, terrorists who brought America to our knees, even if just for a moment in time. Those sites should never be used to promote an agenda and never be used to shamelessly market a TV network show. Never. It would be despicable for anyone to do that. That's why I was so shocked in real time when I saw this from Fox Sports, Baseball Tonight. I was watching and could not believe they would use the World Trade Center reflecting pools and debase them that way with Yankee and Red Sox logos, even putting the Fox Sports logo in between. A pathetic abuse of our lost friends and family for corporate gain. Vile, actually. So here's the rub. This is a story that Fox News would cover wall to wall if it were NBC Sports who had done that. They would feign outrage that a news network would be so insensitive. They'd probably call NBC Sports anti-American or worse. So where's Fox News reporting on this important story? I'll tell you. It's just not right, folks. It's not right. Sure, Fox Sports apologized. Fox Sports apologized for the offensive error. But Fox News, again, emphasis on news and being a news channel, should reflect on their colleagues over at Fox Sports and call them out. I spent 11 years plus at Fox, and I know nothing makes it to that screen without several layers of producers, eyeballs, and never will they put something on the screen that's not promoting their agenda. So, when there's an error of this magnitude, one that would spark dozens of Fox primetime stories that would run for a week, Fox is silent suddenly on this one. And that, folks, is the very definition of corporate media. That's not journalism. That's media presented in order to pump the earnings, not to promote transparency and, more importantly, holding truth to power. Now Fox News is huge and Fox News is powerful, so I'd like to go out on a limb and hold some truth to power because most, if not all, the other conservative voices are fearful of Fox retribution with their power. They do wield it. So I'll try to hold truth to power in this realm. The power being the power of Fox News as a giant bully rather than a legitimate news source. And then this happened.
I'd like to see him not run.
If he did, I would vote for him, but I would not recommend he runs.
I couldn't care less about President Trump personally. I'd prefer somebody different.
You know what? I voted for him for my very first time I voted for him. I don't think it'll be best for our country for him to run for re-election.
I would like to see, Governor DeSantis or someone like that, some new blood in the race.
DeSantis run for president, and if he wants to, then he can pick up Donald as the vice president.
Fox News aired that obvious takedown of Donald Trump, reminding you nothing hits that screen without a purpose. So I'm trying to figure out why Fox News, why are they trying to dump Trump and really pumping up Ron DeSantis? It is a news station, right? You're picking a candidate. Now this ad, this thing was 3.5 minutes long, an eternity for a pre-taped package in TV, 3.5 minutes. The first half was rather odd, or parade of people on the street saying Trump was good, but his time is up, spoken in various ways with the same result. But the last 2 minutes, and this is important because remember, nothing hits that Fox screen without an agenda. It's literally every single person to a T saying they'd vote for DeSantis over Trump, unanimously. A little background in those taped packages. Generally, you gather an abundance of opinions on tape, use some sort of mix of pros and cons, here, there, Trump, yeah, DeSantis. But here, Fox selectively edited in all DeSantis choosers and edited out, get this, all the Trump voters. Odd, isn't it? They literally had to selectively edit that piece to make it appear a random sampling of conservative voters would vote for DeSantis and none would vote for Trump. Meanwhile, the polls showed vastly different. Unanimously, a statistical impossibility. So what is Fox up to? Don't run over to Tucker. He won't report on all the corporate stuff. He's Fox's chief spokesperson, sort of a Corinne Jean-Pierre of Fox. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll watch Fox and let you know if they do, because they should. They're a news service after all, or pretend to be. But we'll see tomorrow. Let you know if they heard us here and did the right thing. I highly doubt it. More likely, some undermining smear campaign about me should be popping up somewhere in the media world in 3, 2, 1.